place them underneath an NDA.
How
That's not a thing that happened. That's never a thing that happened. And the other thing that happened is you cannot NDA a crime. You cannot do that. That's a thing that you cannot do.
Right, so this is true, but it literally does not change the fact that she was going to make allegations, which you lied to me and to everybody else about. Separating the insane thumbnails for a second, these videos are mainly to illustrate how Tectone lies, because those are the things that can be proven, which should cause skepticism when looking at a timeline of events and his narratives.
So my dad, right? My dad. Man, people really like talking about my dad.
So this is the last thing Tectone talks about in regards to the video, and it is interesting. Okay. One of the criticisms I levy at Tectone was the performance he gave after his father's drama blew up. He basically threw him under the bus, talked about how his father was putting a gun to his head, abusing him, and his father was being, quote, a monster.
It's kind of hard to think of your family as a monster.
However, after watching the video, now he will be
How is he not acting there, guys? How is Tectone not acting there?
defending his father.
But I got sent an
I can give a better performance than that.
article about what it was that he actually did, because everybody was telling me that my father was a and you know, everybody kept on saying, "Oh, dude, your dad's a and I'm sure at this point, at this time, you guys have probably heard that, right? I'm sure at this point, you guys probably heard this. Well, I actually got sent an article of what he actually did. The judge found him not guilty of the most
Fun fact, Tectone once bragged about going to school for acting. You should probably go back to school.
serious charges of assault, which would have required him to register as a sexual offender. But yeah, so like, I don't know why everybody's calling my dad a when he didn't even anybody.
So Tectone lies a bit here, but his father was charged with assault and sexual harassment. The controversy for his father was that he was a prolific sex pest, and that when these people came out with allegations, he was tried in a military court and was given what politicians at the time would have regarded as a sweetheart deal. Basically, he was able to keep his pension, stay off the registry, and get off light. This is why his father was the poster child for the, quote, Stop Military initiative that was going on at the time and televised on C-SPAN. But yes, he was never accused of forced penetration, and I don't believe Tectone believes that was ever the case either. Also, the article Tectone uses as proof people lied about his father is the same article I used in my last video. He just doesn't read the rest.
So this is what I mean by sweeping for his dad, okay? If you're just fully honest, then it's his dad, all right? It's like saying Rittenhouse wasn't crying. Think you just take it at face value? Okay. The thing with Rittenhouse is that he got away acquitted on his charges of murder, okay? The thing with Tectone's dad is that he was convicted and found guilty and served time for it. That's the difference, okay?
The article where after his father is found guilty, he tries to approach the women and say sorry, and they run away crying from him.
So like, why is everybody calling him a rape? And according to this, he didn't even sexually touch anybody.
So this is untrue. He was charged with assault. He just wasn't charged with the more serious ones that would have led to him being a sex offender. I will, however, say this is a much better response than his first one, where he called his father an abusive monster that threatened him when he was younger with taking him out with a firearm. That being said, if it was me, I would probably never address it after the first time, just say, yeah, it happened, and then move on.
So he was a gooner, and he had on his government computer, and he showed it to people.
Do you okay. Think about so his father is someone who is known to be a serial sex pest who was featured on C-SPAN as the poster case for serial, like for unreported cases of sexual harassment and rape in the military, as the poster child for it. And he is on stream saying it's because he was a gooner, and saying that he had porn on his computer and he showed it to other people. Is it me, or do these two not match up here? And one is way less significant than the other, in which the difference we could interpret as sweeping. Okay? I'm sorry, I'm just telling it as it is, okay? Fuck.
Right. So
Try
like,
my hardest here.
at least like, if you can't do the bare minimum of research for that, I mean, I don't know what you want me to say, right?
You gotta sort of admire how dumb this guy thinks his own audience is. He's literally using the article specifically from my video. That's probably where he found it, as I did not see it anywhere else during the scandal. Then he has the gall to partially present it and hope his audience don't look into it at all. Considering he watched the video and this was the only response he could muster, I feel even more confident with the lies pointed out in the previous video.
Queenman talking about, dude. Queen Bee, I don't even watch Queenman. I don't even watch Queenman anymore. Man. Yeah.
And its accuracy.
So he was a gooner.
Tectone cannot stand it when people make negative content about him. Back in the Genshin Impact days, he basically had a long string of bullying autistic game meta people for simply saying Tectone's takes weren't backed by any of the mathematics they used to determine optimal strategy. Tectone was so butthurt about this, he likens the criticism to people trying to ruin his life.
So you think that my takes are good?
I don't know. I don't think you're no. Oh my god, no. But
So it's
I'm
not a
just trying to say
joke.
that, you know, do you think me insulting, like saying your Genshin takes aren't good, does that hurt you?
Do you think that when my livelihood was to make money off of YouTube, do you think when I was $1.1 million in debt, do you think that when the entire Genshin community was on me, do you think me saying, oh great,
This guy is truly the ultimate victim. Holy shit. So based.
another had made a
Truly
video
the
on me.
victim.
I can't wait to deal with the backlash. When I had no money, when I was about to lose my house, what do you think that was going to
Alright.
do?
Okay, dude.
You can paint
Oh, okay, dude. Okay, chill out for just
it
a moment.
any
okay?
way that you want. You can say, look at how much of a silly Billy I was being. The reality is you caused a lot of damage.
I was gonna say, because he said I ruined his life, and like the
The
video
fuck?
hurt him and stuff. But like he was being super nice to me in DM. So like, are you what?
Yeah.
And I felt really bad.
Tectone is basically an idiot, offering how he feels about what's best when you have these mega autists doing spreadsheets of frame data and mathematics to determine what's optimal. This would be fine, but of course Tectone would get insecure and then attack
Dude,
these
yeah.
creators and lie to his audience.
You know what?
Tactics
That's
like saying
a good
things like he
point.
dismantled our argument in 2 minutes using in-game data and logic.
Even when other content creators came on my channel, like when Jinx and Tuner came on my channel, bro, I dismantled him in seconds, and he had to spend 40 minutes trying to justify his cause, right? Y'all were there for that. I dismantled him in seconds. I have been able to defend every single one of my opinions, beyond a shadow of doubt, using literally in-game data and logic.
Which you can easily see is not what happened if you actually just went and watched the VOD of the actual discussion. However, he is the bigger content creator, so he can rewrite history as much as he wants and say whatever he wants. And he knows that his viewers aren't going to bother going back and actually looking at the VOD of this discussion and seeing that all of his claims are
Why aren't
bullshit.
these guys
And in a
attacking me?
he said situation, the
Oh,
bigger
okay,
content
okay.
creator always wins.
That was Jin Jinx, and Tectone had a whole drama with him over his Zhongli meta takes. To add insult to injury, Tectone would later admit that he knew
Bro, imagine fighting over this. I can't. Actually, you know what? You know what? If your career rests on arguing whether or not some Genshin character does like 5 more damage points and the money you get is like thousands of dollars if you get like the argument correct and you get perceived as correct, I can kind of understand it, okay? But if you're a viewer, dude, I can't. Stop playing Genshin. Stop playing
he was
Genshin.
wrong, but as he
There's
so
better
often does,
gotcha
just
games.
completely lied to
Fuck.
them and his audience.
Now, let's just call a spade a spade. Do I think Zhongli was good pre-buff?
Oh my
No.
god.
Will I ever admit that to another content creator? Absolutely not. Good God, man.
Tectone is a guy who wants to be the base rightoid like his hero Osmongold, but the truth of the matter is he's a degenerate, addicted freak, so he will lie, deceive, and change his views or principles based off what benefits him at any given time. None of this is more apparent than when he decided to go after lolicons, because Tectone himself has a history of liking lolicons and talking sexually about characters that went as low as 6 to 8 years old, while ranking them in a waifu tier list.
Next up, Paimon. Dude, I feel like if Paimon were to visit me, I feel like we'd just be best friends. You know? And I bet she would taste delicious. Imagine how Paimon's feet would taste when she's 18. Probably like cinnamon and honey. Should be fine. B for I can't believe she's not butter. Awful. Chi-Chi, S tier, adorable. Okay? Hilarious. Cute. Get this girl a cocoa goat. Okay? She is adorable. She is beautiful. Dude, this girl is already running a
Listen, I can't criticize Tectone for this, okay? I can't. Okay, listen, it would be hypocritical of me too. It would be hypocritical of me too, okay? With that being said, okay, if Tectone is hypocritical about this, then I think that warrants criticizing. Yes.
Hotel at like age 6. In patch 2.0, when we gather the Dragon Balls and we revive Chi-Chi, and then she gets to expand to level 18 and age 18, imagine how amazing she would be.
Tectone also openly talked about having crushes on lolly characters.
Level age 18 is crazy.
I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah, I mean, like, the truth about, like, a lot of these, like, teenage-looking lolly characters is that that's literally what the average Asian woman looks like, okay? Like, I'm sorry.
No, because you
I'm
make
sorry.
me feel feminine. You make me feel like a little. You make me feel like I'm a little kid back in middle school. I have a crush on you, Hutao, and it's not healthy.
Now, I want to make this totally clear that the creator Tectone tried to deplatform was certainly more of an extreme case, without a doubt, 100%. But it is the hypocrisy that I feel is worth addressing. Tectone actively consumed and profited from this type of content. However, he would try to deplatform other Genshin creators for, in some cases, the exact same things he had done, like having lollies in a waifu tier list.
If you were to report a crime to a police officer, that would not be considered.
How would Foodshops know what the average Asian woman looks like? Bitch, first of all, there's the internet. Second of all, I've lived in China for years, okay? Third of all, what the fuck? My mom is an Asian. Fuck you,
drama.
okay? You suck.
This is calling out some disgusting behavior because I have never seen anybody be this blatant of a file in my whole life. On YouTube, no less.
And feet. If you're into feet, you got it with Nahida.
Okay, pedo jacketing off of lolly takes is crazy. Okay,
She's doing wonders for you. So I just wholeheartedly think
crazy work.
Both of them are smashable.
So I want to make this very clear. Bro is doing a Genshin Impact's most breedable character tier list and let me just go ahead and show you, puts Nahida and Klee and Diona in S tier. Imagine how Paimon's feet would taste.
Tectone would attempt to cancel this other Genshin Impact creator for doing, in some cases, the same sort of ranking tier list he himself did in the past.
That was good editing. That was good comedic timing. Okay, I that got me good. Okay, that got me good. That was good comedic timing.
While Ren had much more explicit behaviors than Tectone, the ranking of lollies in a waifu or breed tier list, in my opinion, is within the same realm. Tectone would then post about how the creator should be deplatformed on Twitter, but delete the post soon after because people began going through his Twitter and finding all of the lolicon artists he was following. Tectone was also called out for simping for a trans lolly that is 15 and talking sexually about the character openly on Twitter. They also had Tectone liking posts with this lolly.
Wait, trans lolly being like the female version of Venti? Is that what it was? But that's not a trans lolly. That's just a gender bent version of Venti, bro. What the? Okay, Shambo, you're missing here.
Character getting plowed by some black furry creature. So needless to say, he was busted again for being a liar. After being caught in 4K, Tectone would panic and mass unfollow every account he had previously been following. However, afterwards, he immediately followed lolly accounts directly after posturing, such as the Anime Man, which is this guy. You see, Tectone doesn't even really hold this as a principle. He regularly associates with Nuxtaku, who famously associated with Shadman at one time. Shadman is famous for creating depictions of real children doing explicit acts, and famously used Keemstar's own children for one of these disgusting depictions. Nuxtaku also reviewed lolicon and all sorts of things on his own YouTube channel. Point is, Tectone happily associates with people like this and has admitted as much.
I agree. I do think it's a little bit hypocritical of me to follow people who I know like lollies. I definitely think that's hypocritical. But the thing is, Joey's one of the reasons why I started YouTube, and Lucari's one of my best friends, so he's gonna have to overlook it sometimes, just to be completely honest. I agree that it's completely hypocritical.
Essentially, Tectone tried to deplatform a competitor in the Genshin Impact space.
For the record, the reason why Nuxtaku got in trouble wasn't because he had a relationship with Shadman, okay? It wasn't just that, okay? It was because he continually downplays and lies about his relationship with Shadman. That's why. Yeah. But also, again, I think the context is important here, okay? The reason why Lolly is being brought up in this context isn't because it isn't because he's like criticizing Lolly, okay? It's because Tectone is a hypocrite. That's why. Because he has basically what Shamu is saying is Tectone has called other people pedophiles, all right? And used like, oh, they're into Lolly as a talking point for that when he himself have done it. Make sense? So the problem here isn't, oh, Lolly bad. The problem here is hypocrisy bad, yes? And sweeping bad.
He admits he still follows all of these other people that are into Lolly, and he's on recording.
And for the record, this is a really common point for a lot of people. A lot of YouTubers will joke about how much they want to fuck a particular Lolly person, but when it's convenient to go after their enemies, they will be 100% against Lolly. So that is also like a very common issue that, you know, kind of happens, all right? Where there is like this kind of hypocrisy going on with content creators who does that. Yeah, it's very common hypocrisy, unfortunately.
Ranking toddlers as waifus and talking about them in a sexual manner. So why would Tectone associate, work with, and be okay with some Lolly people,
Vosh, 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 Vosh,
but not others?
I'm not going to sit here and turn a blind eye. This is not normal behavior. This is deranged. Imagine how Paimon's feet would taste.
In the past couple of years, Tectone has totally retconned all of this,
I really need to turn. Oh my god, there's so
and
many
surprise,
good
surprise, has
support
lied
vibes.
to do so. Tectone will pretend that he didn't know what Lolly meant in the past, and then boldface lie that he
Imagine
only
how
said the word
good
one time,
Paimon's
quoting
feet
another
would
streamer.
taste.
Here he is lying to another streamer straight to their face.
Bro, these guys need to be put in a mental asylum,
Yep.
bro. What the
Yeah. I said the word lolly one time because in the game's code, Klee and Chi-Chi's body type, they're underneath the category of lolly. So I said the word lolly, and the worst thing is I was quoting another content creator. His name's
How do you even like act when one of your terminally online mofo friends is acts like this? How do you like when somebody explains to you like DeviantArt, like Sonic inflation porn? Like how do you even like out of nowhere and it's like hella out of pocket? Like how do you even like process this? I can't process this.
X-Lice, who's a good dude.
Okay.
Okay, but him and this other guy called
Okay.
Fob say the word lolly a lot. I don't, right? So I said it for the first time. It gets clipped,
Stop.
and people
stop,
say that
stop.
I'm a file.
Shaw is like this little lolly
Stop.
girl. Okay,
Stop.
she's a firefighter. She doesn't look like any of them have miniguns, which really pisses me off because I want a insane lolly with the
You want to start us? Yeah, I own it. Yeah, that's my past.
minigun. We also have Flamebringer, whose kid seems pretty weird, but I don't care because he looks really hot. The K-pop lead singer haircut, and then Vermelli, the little lolly girl. Please give me zombie lolly. Oh, zombie lolly, please. We need dead zombie lolly, and we need Big Daddy Donger. New. Let's go.
Because I said the word
you said it?
lolly, and they say I'm a pet. My little sister sees that shit without context,
No.
and then I have to explain to her why I'm not a f***ing creep.
Oh. Damn, so they're really just on your ass for no reason.
Yeah.
Imagine how Paimon's feet would taste.
In summation, Tectone is fake and doesn't stand on business if he can benefit. One guy makes a Lolly breed tier list, and Tectone tries to deplatform him for being a nonce. And the other guy is literally playing explicit videos with child characters censored just enough for YouTube, and Tectone's cool with it because he's a big name. Tectone actually reviews an extremely mild video on the Nux Taku drama where he puts on a sweeping clinic for Nux, calling the Shadman situation a non-issue several times.
The Shadman thing was a non-issue.
At one point, he even had direct contact with Shadman.
Very fair.
Where multiple
This is another non-issue. Oh, since the beginning of me and Nux's relationship, maybe 4 years, 4.5 years, he's been nothing but good to me. I think it's fine if people don't like Nux. I think that's completely fine. However, I don't, so I really don't care. That's pretty much it. All right, cool. Like, comment, subscribe.
Now, let's get into the court papers. They were filed June 25th, 2024.
Uh-oh.
Before delving into them, it's important to remember that this is Tectone and his then girlfriend Pinkside, which will
Okay, this is This is what I actually care about, okay? The court papers. I care about whether or not Tectone actually raped. A man's life hangs in the balance. Okay.
Look to paint Freem in the worst possible light. 2 months after this filing, Freem would deny every allegation made within these court papers and demand a trial. 3 months after this, and Pink would respond asking to dissolve the case with a notice of non-suit with prejudice, where both parties would bear their own costs and attorney fees. So we should remember that when this was contested to go to trial, Pink dropped the lawsuit and came out saying the most damning allegations in the suit were false, so people can read through the filings and come to their own conclusions. All of the filings will appear on screen for viewers to read, but there are specific points I will hit so this doesn't go on forever. The first page is standard, with Pink seeking monetary relief of over $250,000, but no more than $1 million. The next 2 pages explain Mythic Talent and their roster of Asmongold, Mizkif, Tectone, and others. It states that Freem assisted Tectone with daily management of Tectone's brand and business, and that she was the head artist of Mythic Talent and worked as a designer for OTK and Mythic. Now, part of this...
Oh, so she's like the sassafras. She's like the sassafras to Tectone. Okay, I got it. Okay. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically one of the biggest reasons tomfoolery's career failed is because part of his biggest downfall was the fact that this woman that he was in a situationship with was doing all the producing work for him, and if it was just like outside influence from J-Stoke that took him down, then fair enough, okay? Then it wasn't fair, right? But the reason why tomfoolery fell was because his own audience felt betrayed. And the reason for that is because they learned of this relationship, how like Sassafras has been wronged by tomfoolery, okay? Yeah. So again, like I said, it's not just J-Stock.
I had in my last video, but what I didn't have, which further proves one of Tectone's lies, is it states that Curzon was hired on July 25th, 2022. This date is important because Tectone had claimed to Pink, and the public through her, that the reason Tectone verbally abused his wife in the car was because he found out Freem was cheating on him right before this car domestic.
Keep this in mind. This is the day he caught her.
Who? Tomfoolery. Listen, if you're watching my streams, you already know that I cover DGG related content, and that includes like the fall and rise of Tomfoolery show, okay? Listen, Tomton is Tomton, okay?
And Cruz cuddling on the couch and realized she was cheating on him with Cruz, his assistant.
However, this July 2022 date is months and months after this. It also corresponds with the plane tickets Pink had posted as proof to prove Tectone was lying about this. And these court documents further corroborate the date of Curzon's arrival, further cementing one of Tectone's lies. Exhibit 1 is attached to this page's claims about Curzon and Freem going on dates. A couple interesting tidbits about this. 1. The person who leaked all of her private communication with Freem to Tectone is VTuber Kittenetic. Interestingly, half a year later, Kittenetic would be one of the people backing up both Freem and Pink publicly about Tectone being abusive. The other thing of note is just that this correspondence was made well after Freem and Tectone separated, in September. Page 5 elaborates more on the date Curzon and Freem went on, and then further states Freem would separate from Tectone, leaving 8 days after this, filing for divorce 4 months later.
Wait, so the basic gist of this is Tectone reasoned. So here's what I think is being described. So Tectone said that the reason why I verbally abused my ex-wife in the car is because she cheated on me, right? But then the court papers, I assume, shows that the dates do not line up. Like, it doesn't make sense that, like, he abused her because of that reasoning. Is that what I'm getting here? Because that's what I'm getting, okay? Let me know if I'm wrong.
The next page states Pink and Tectone began dating in December of 2022 and provides Twitter logs to corroborate the timeline. Given its validity, the exhibit does suggest that Pink Chu and Tectone began talking a month after Freem filed for divorce. It then gets into the revenge allegations.
So, okay, so they talked to each other a month after they filed for divorce. So it's not cheating. So she didn't cheat on Tectone. So I don't, because I saw like some people in my chat saying, "Oh, you don't get it. Like Tectone, it's because Tectone was cheated on." Well, this doesn't sound like Tectone was cheated on, right?
which Pink now denies ever existed. The only evidence provided is a still of the front yard of Pink, Chu, and Tectone getting into the car. Now this is tricky, but it specifically states there were cameras, quote, around the house. I'm assuming since the only evidence is of the front yard that these cameras were around the outside of the house, but this is never clarified in the filing. Tectone states on the next page that his ex-wife called him and said, quote, is she better than me? And told him about the cameras and that she cheated on Tectone while they were still living together. Then there's a bunch of high school drama about who is dating who and rumors being spread. One in particular, the quote, gag reflex surgery, is one I had no idea even existed until reading this court filing. It also mentions the micro comment Freem made about microtone. As a quick aside, in the last video I didn't think much of these comments other than Tectone's ex just talking poorly about him, but I was made aware that he has actually openly talked about having a micro before, so I'm leaning more towards microtone not being just a meme.
That's what women do when I pull out my penis. They say, wow, so small. That's my ritual. I wake up, and I go do my job. But I woke up, started that, and then I covered it up as me scratching my leg. Thankfully, I have a very small cock.
Call it a stereotype, call it unfortunate circumstances, but being a self-admitted microtone ain't helping his abuse allegations, fam. If you're keeping score, you can put a point in the dick category for this one. Next, I mentioned one of Tectone's friends, Zizix, presented as someone who knows all the allegedly illegal things Freem is doing to Tectone. For those who don't know, Zizix is a guy who, upon Pikachu making allegations public, potentially spread fake DMs of Pink to try to discredit her. He claims he didn't know that they were fake after being called out for it, but you can decide that on your own. I'm kind of 50-50 on it. Tectone also claims his ex-wife sent videos to Kinetic and the CEO of Mythic Talent. Next, Freem is accused of posting Tectone's bank statements, stealing money, and a whole host of things. However, the exhibits that are provided...
Bro, okay. This is such a good taste in background music. What the fuck? So far, all bangers, okay? So far, all banger, like, background music for this video essay, okay? Like, listen, you can dislike the video essay, but you can't dislike the music choice, okay?
To prove these claims contain none of that info whatsoever. Page 10 states that on February 3rd, Freem announced that she was not on good terms with Tectone, and there were current legal happenings between them and their lawyers. Then on page 11, the next day, it gets back to Pink that Freem was about to go public with allegations against Tectone. It's stated as, quote, serious and false allegations, but upon hearing them from Pink, Tectone freaked out. He found out that a Google Doc was about to be released regarding the abuse allegations, and that Vebe, Kuko, and Sodapoppin were aware of the alleged abuse. Tectone claims it was being used as blackmail. Immediately after this, in the court filings, it states that in response to these allegations potentially becoming public, Pinkchu then elects to file a police report against Freem for revenge. It then claims that people that used to employ Freem were sent revenge. But again, Pinkchu claims this revenge never existed and that she was manipulated to press charges against Freem to silence her. So if this is true, what the hell is going on with Freem's former employers who were representing Tectone at the time and still are presently? Let's take a moment to consider a few things. 1. Pink and Tectone are alleging in this that Freem was just willy-nilly spreading revenge of them to higher-ups and co-workers at the org she worked for at the time. How deranged does this sound on the face of it? Oh, hey boss and CEO of Mythic Talent Musashi that pays my bills. Man, me and my new boyfriend are furious at my ex-husband and his new girlfriend like you wouldn't believe.
I think Mythic Talent also warrants its own investigations, okay? Again, all right, almost everyone that Asmongold defends is a part of his own agency that he is the founder of. So basically, Mythic Talent is a talent agency that is founded by Asmongold and other people, all right? And Asmongold owns the talent agency. Tectone is a part of that, all right? They get connections. I don't know if it's paycheck. I don't know if they get a paycheck based off of being a part of Mythic Talent, but it's very clear there's some shady fucking shit going on. Who the fuck knows? Some sweeping under the rug type shit, okay?
Here, let me just send you this I have of them that I secretly recorded on security cameras. It sounds insane. Mythic Talent is a talent agency of mostly VTubers with other people signed such as Tectone and Osmongold.
Oh, Kershay is also part of it.
Pretty good agency, especially if you're willing to be on the record as receiving revenge from your employees and potentially later going to court for it. There's no documentation whatsoever or statement from Mythic Talent CEO or employees if any of this happened, by the way. So I suppose the question would be, if we are assuming these are lies, if Mythic Talent was aware that they were being named as a witness to revenge crimes that never happened, how involved were they? Were helping push a lawsuit in favor of two of the people they were representing at the time, Pink and Tectone. Those are the only two options. Either Freem sent all of her co-workers and her boss, the CEO of Mythic Talent Musashi, revenge, or ex-husband and his new girlfriend, where they knowingly lied about receiving it in order to aid two of the creators they were representing at the time. We know it's stated in the court documents that Freem was telling other creators a part of this network about her alleged abuse from Tectone. So how much was there to gain in participating in a lawsuit or the police action that occurred right after these allegations got back to everyone and were about to become public? And can you guess who Mythic Talent is owned by? The same company that has had several of these sorts of allegations in the past, OTK, or One True King. Founded by OTK members Asmongold and Tips Out, who you can see here with Tectone on the Steak and Eggs podcast. 2. The VTuber who leaked all of her communications with Freem, Kitnetic, was the main source they used throughout this, with leaked private conversations of Freem venting to what appears to be a friend. The odd thing about this is that months later, when Pink came out with her allegations against Tectone, Kitnetic tweeted in support of both women, claiming they had the exact same story as far as the abuse they experienced with Tectone. After Pink made it public that the revenge wasn't real, there has been no clarification from any of these supposed witnesses in regards to any of this, as so far as saying, hey, she's lying or anything else. Thinking this was strange, I reached out to Kitnetic, who actually responded to me in the exact same way Tectone did. She said that they would talk about this subject, but because there was a lawsuit, they couldn't. However, there is no lawsuit. And I was able to get her to clarify after I mentioned the police investigation that that's actually what she meant. Basically, I was told what was stated publicly is all that can be really said, out of fear of the ongoing police investigation or any potential legal fallout. I wish I could give a clearer answer, as the implications of the revenge from being a lie are actually pretty massive. The police action against Freem happened directly after she was going to make her allegations public, which was followed shortly after with a lawsuit. It's pretty simple. If the revenge wasn't real, it calls into question why the company Mythic Talent was saying that it was. It makes me question how hard Mythic Talent were pushing for litigation in the aftermath of Tectone's ex-wife possibly coming out with allegations. There's nothing you could say definitively, though nobody involved in the lawsuit is willing to clarify or confirm whether or not the revenge was real. Around 30 hours after reaching out to Musashi, the CEO of Mythic Talent, and others, somebody attempted to hack my Twitter account. There were around 10 password resets sent all within the same minute. Obviously, there's no telling who tried hacking my account whatsoever, and it could have nothing to do with what I've been working on at all. However, I felt it was worth mentioning and including for posterity's sake. Page 14 contains a record request for the police report that Pink filed, which was done by Freem's boyfriend, Kurzum. Then, an anonymous account on Twitter, which you could assume was Kurzum, began posting the report, intimating that the report was a lie. If it isn't a lie, and Freem was guilty of this, it would be a very odd thing to do to just start posting the incident report about you. After the police report was posted 2 other times on Twitter, on March 15th, Pink would send a cease and desist to Freem. And that's it for the allegations made in the court filings. The rest of the pages I received were just reiterating the allegations and the type of damages Pink was pursuing at the time. If for some reason you'd like to see those, you can let me know, but there's no new information in them that we didn't already cover. Recently, Tectone brought me up on stream, implying he's going to sue me possibly. He essentially started talking about all the lawyers he has, and then directly after this started talking about me.
Oh no, the suing meta. It's fucking over. We're so fucking cooked. Wait, fuck. I didn't mean to exit out.
And then I have a remote lawyer, a other lawyer, and then 2 days ago, I got another lawyer. So I have 3 lawyers now. Finally, I think I have a lawyer that can actually do something that I need, which is great, which is amazing. What's your take on DK? Just don't play it. Just drop to it, don't play it. Really that easy. You know what I mean? That's pretty much how it goes for 99% of guys against. Just blow your load to dip. Yeah, there's this one guy. His name's Shamu. He made a quote-unquote hit piece on me. Oh, God. My mod linked me this one video because this guy's been schizo posting about me on Twitter because he thinks it's going to fucking do something. Doesn't matter, bro. All my advertisers are Chinese and Japanese, and I don't talk to anybody, and my channel relies on me and me alone. The only person who can cancel me is me. It doesn't matter if I were to kill somebody. Unless my account's permabanned, you can't do shit. That's the reality.
Remember, he's a part of Asmongold's orbit. I'm sure he also claims to be a free speech absolutist like Asmongold, okay? I'm sure these are all very pro free speech people, okay? Very, very just and pro free speech people. Who dis? Tectone, okay? He's been on Destiny's podcast before. He and Destiny are now beefing. Tectone also has rape allegations, and his father is convicted of being a sex pest, and he actively defends his father all the time. He is also Asmongold's orbiter, all right? He is a gacha game live streamer.
Wow, I have zero interest in any sort of deplatforming of Tectone. I wasn't the one that made any of the allegations, his ex-wife and ex-girlfriend did. Unlike you, who constantly whines and complains about why lefty Twitch streamers need to be banned, I personally want everyone to have a platform and lessen bans as much as possible. I want more crazy things online, not less, and the least amount of censorship possible.
Right, and the good news is, I'm a great guy. So this guy's accusing me of being a
Bro, this guy seriously can't help himself from lying. I don't think Tectone is a nonce, nor have I ever called him one. He's referring to the lolly clips we played earlier in the video. I posted the ones where he talks about how their feet would taste and call him a degenerate in a tweet. However, the main point being made is that Tectone is a total hypocrite, as he has tried to cancel and deplatform people for the exact same behavior he did in the past. As for Tectone suing me, I make it very clear in both videos that both I and the viewers do not know what happened in regards to these allegations. Minus any jokes being made in the video, I'm pretty certain I never accused him of
Stop saying sex pest. It downplays what his dad there. He wasn't chasing women. He was molesting them. Okay, fine. A convicted molester. Okay, but you know what I mean. I'm not like on purpose trying to downplay it. Obviously, I'm just trying to be more careful with my wording. Okay. I mean, since Shamu describes him as a sex pest, then I'm also describing him as a sex pest. Okay. I'm just trying to be more consistent here.
being a either. Tectone is a public figure. I can talk about the allegations being made against him. Period. I wanted to make another video for the full court documents and touch on a few things outside of his relationship scandals. My biggest takeaways from looking into Tectone is his willingness to be totally dishonest. Even outside of the serious allegations from his ex-wife and girlfriend, he is easily the fakest person I've ever covered, with lies, misrepresentation, and hypocrisy sprinkled everywhere when you just give a cursory look. With the court filings now public, and my last video offering a comprehensive timeline of events, I think I'm fairly well finished here. Tectone has stated recently he plans to sue everyone, and while I
Tectone is just a right winger too, which is the worst. Yeah, he just all again. This guy has an average of like what, like concurrently 8K, 10K people, 8K to 10K viewers. So yeah, like again, that kind of warrants covering.
personally doubt this, as he has made statements like this in the past. If it happens, I will be pulling all the court documents for that as well. Unless he decides to sue me, I guess. Cheers, everyone. Peace. Hey guys, please hit like on the video, as it helps the channel and the algorithm.
Cool, awesome, good video. Yeah. What Misaki is referring there to is Chud Logic saw the Tectone stuff. He covered the Tectone stuff, and Tectone came in there to try to control the narrative, so to speak. So what Tectone tried to do is that he came in there and he's like, "Oh, what do you have a problem with?" So he debated Chud Logic live on stream, and then he tried to play nice, and Tectone said, "You know what? Let's play some Fortnite together, and we are able to, fix this little beef between us. All right." And Chud Logic just basically said no. I think, yeah, it's very clear he doesn't want to play Fortnite with Tectone. He tried to cozy up to him. Really weird. I think Tectone is trying to find someone in the commentary community where he is able to be buddy with, so then he can control the narrative whenever somebody makes videos about him. I think that's actually what's going on here. Okay. And that's also what Chud Logic's suspicion was. So yeah, good suspicion, it totally lines up. Okay. All right. The Tectone lore is expansive and complicated. Lots of world building, right?